Lead and Empower Her with Dr. Julie Ducharme, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and relevant people on the planet. Hear their stories and get the most important business lessons they have learned on their road to success and get exclusive advice on how to implement their success into your life and business. Lead and Empower Her with Dr. Julie Ducharme is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board and your host, Dr. Julie Ducharme.
Hey, are you looking to scale your business from 5 figures to 6 figures or 6 figures to 7 figures? If you are, I have the perfect thing for you. What I want you to do today is I want you to go download a book. This book is going to take you through my 3-pillar system. It's 100% free. All you have to do is go to growfast.cash. I say again, go to growfast.cash and you're going to be able to download my free international best-selling book, which is called Be Good, Be Brief, Be Gone. You can take that book. It's going to help you scale your business to the next level. Again, go download it. Be good, be brief, be gone. Growfast.cash. I say again, growfast.cash. Enjoy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Julie Ducharme, back for another episode with She CEO podcast. As you can see, it is Christmas, and Christmas is one of my favorite times of year, very much because my mother, who passed away 11 years ago, this was her favorite holiday, and she had all kinds of wonderful holiday traditions. And so that was something she kind of left me, and I love to celebrate it just in her honor. And something fun that we do, I've been sharing in each episode of these Christmas episodes, something we do. So I have this elf. And so for those of you in the new generation that do Elf on the Shelf, this was actually my grandmother's elf. So this would be my kid's great grandmother's elf. And so I inherited it when she passed away. And so we do Elf on the Shelf all around the house with this little old guy, which I tell him he's a very old elf from a long time ago. And the rule is they can't touch him or he loses his magic. And they're still 13 and 16-year-olds. And the other day they said, Mom, can you please pick up the elf? We can't touch him because we don't want him to lose magic. So I just love sharing these traditions, and Elf on the Shelf is one of them, but we kind of started it before there was an Elf on a Shelf. Now I wish I would have had that great idea to have made lots of money on that. So we have another great show today. Today we have with us Amanda Taylor. She is a co-founder and COO of Metropolis Business Development. She empowers solopreneurs to harness the power of automation, freeing up valuable time to focus on their expertise and drive higher profits. With seamless systems in place, they can confidently project a polished professional image that rivals large corporations without the burden of hiring a costly team. And we're so excited to have Amanda on the show. Amanda, welcome.
Hello. Great to be here.
Well, Amanda and I were just together for 3 days. So we had a lot of fun. She has a lot of amazing things happening right now. So I'm super excited to talk about this. And you have a story that really just resonates with me. And I don't want to steal that because you're talking about things that I feel like especially women critically need to know. And so I want to kind of just jump in and let you tell your story of how you became this COO and co-founder, because I know you started off on a very different path.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to say after I graduated college with a marketing degree, I changed jobs like people changed underwear. I just could not figure out what I wanted to do, how that fit in. Yes, I had this business degree, but didn't feel passionate about anything I ended up doing. And by chance, I ended up in dentistry. For 15 years, I was a dental practice manager. And, it was a job, and I never felt very passionate about teeth. And it was a job that I did to pay the bills so that I could have the life that I wanted to have outside of the job. And I felt like I was constantly looking for passion and work. And I know they can be separate. I do. And a lot of people do that really well. It just wasn't working for me. When I moved from Texas to Colorado, where I am now, my ex-husband, we moved for his job. So I just followed. and had to find a job. And the first one I found was a dentist. He was only working 2 days a week. And it was fine, making it work. And I met a woman here who said, hey, my husband needs help in his real estate investing company. They just got it started. They just need somebody to do the paperwork. And that was in 2017. And since that time, I learned so much about the industry, about investing overall. Not only did I become their project manager for their projects, I ended up starting my own company, doing my own flip projects, owning my own real estate portfolio. And that's just kind of the journey from teeth to houses. And it's been really exciting because I do love it. I did find that passion. And learning so much in the process, for me, was really exciting just to get to learn a whole new industry and how, I can help people own a beautiful home. And that's just really exciting.
I love that. And I feel like some industries that are a bit mysterious sometimes are real estate and finances and investing. Growing up as a young girl, I never played any of those markets. I was never trained in them. And so when I did eventually go to buy my own home or look at investing, it was really intimidating for me. I just didn't really understand the process. And frankly, 20 years ago, there really wasn't a lot of stuff out there for young women who wanted to do that. And I know that you are really changing the way for women in that industry. And I want to talk about how you demystified the process for you, which might help other women who are sitting out there going, I think I want to invest, or I think I want to flip a house, and they can learn how to do that.
Yeah, it was the best thing was I did have really good mentors. And I think for any woman in any situation or any person, even having a mentor to walk you through the process who believes in you and wants to teach you and being hungry to learn. And so, yes, mine started off in real estate investing. And that's why I work so closely with entrepreneurs and self-employed people in our business development company, because we are so limited. Once I became self-employed, I didn't have a W-2. I didn't have a 401k. I had to learn how to borrow and save outside of those traditional methods. So I did really teach myself and find people who could help me understand a way to grow wealth, not just in real estate, but in other avenues. And that's, another thing that you have done, Julie, through the Lead and Empower Her organization is you did a virtual screening of Show Her the Money. Mm-hmm. And I knew that I wanted to work with women. I knew that I wanted to work with entrepreneurs. And then I saw that, and I could tell you, I was sitting next to my boyfriend and I was just slapping him on the leg because that was it. I knew that's what I wanted to do. So when we find out that only 2% of venture capital goes to female-owned businesses, I'm like, okay, here it is. Here is my opportunity. I get to, do what was done for me and educate women in particular on the whole thing. From simple vocabulary, if we just understand certain concepts, it really takes all the curtains away. Like it is not easy, but it is simple. So learning and getting comfortable and just having someone to show you the way really opens it up. And I think there's two sides to that story here of women who maybe are entrepreneurs who have, you're generating that monthly revenue, which is what I help people do, in my company every day. What are you doing with that revenue?
Yeah.
How are you growing it outside of your company into something that you can pass on to your children, your children's children? I want generational wealth for everyone. So even if it's not real estate investing, there's plenty of avenues that you could take. And it's my mission to empower women to start investing. You can start small. I think people assume it's just for Wall Street investors or big corporations. And it's not. They're regular people. I'm a regular person. I just learned what I could. And yes, start small, grow big, partner with people who you can work with and grow with. And that's just the best way to get started is the education piece. I say intimidation and education have an inverse relationship. So if you're intimidated by something, learn about it. And the more you learn about it, the more comfortable you're going to feel in it.
Yeah. And it's powerful because like you said, I was a bit naive to the VC funding world in the sense of I had businesses. I was never able to get VC funding or really knew how to go about it. So I always looked at traditional methods like loans or credit cards and, the ability to go like, okay, well, I know I'm going to make a lot of money off of this. So I'll get a loan now and then pay it back right away. And, VC funding really felt foreign to me. And it's like, I didn't even know. And once again, I started my businesses, 23, 24 years ago. And so I was really playing in an arena where there wasn't a lot of women. And as you said, mentors are key. And I was searching for mentors to kind of help me figure it out because I really was just kind of flying by the seat of my pants. And so I was just like, okay, what do I do now? Now we've seen such a difference. Like you said, I mean, Show Her the Money has been a really huge, I feel, shift in the industry, like to help women with this and demystify the process. And like you said, I mean, you don't have to have hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest. It could be a small investment as $5,000 or $10,000 to start. I mean, it could be smaller than that, but
Right.
Usually something substantial. And of course, I've met several different women who have gotten into the flipping of houses and real estate industry and just like, wow, like the power of that and the investment in that. I love that. Now I know that you're working too to help educate women in a lot of different aspects as well, in that. And so let's talk about maybe some of the programs that you offer, which can help drive women to be educated in that.
Yeah, I'm in the process of developing right now, just based on all of this. I had some courses for revenue building and I have some real estate courses, but I want to take it back to those fundamentals. Like I said, let's remove the intimidation by building on the education. So I'm going to start an entire virtual course and community, Investing 101. Let's start with the terminology even so that we understand how to use these things. You talked about having $50 to $100, or you don't have to have $100,000. People say cash is king, but I'm like, no, there's a lot of opportunity, credit, and the ability to have credit available and the ability to leverage certain programs are what's king. And if you don't know they exist, you can't do it. So I want to start at the very beginning and what is leverage? What is arbitrage? What is good debt versus bad debt? All of those things, because you can take those baby steps even as a business owner. When you say loans and credit cards, absolutely. And I teach business owners all the time. I know when you start, you leverage out all your personal credit, you take out a home equity loan, like whatever you have to do to fund that business. Well, we can help you separate that. Let's get your personal credit personal. Let's get your business credit on business so that you can increase your borrowing power for both. And if you just have to learn those techniques and those strategies and those tools. And that's what I set out to teach people, how to just position yourself personally and professionally to be able to leverage everything that, you can have and build from that.
Yeah. And I feel that's powerful because there is a distinction, right? I mean, as you talk about, when we start our businesses, we borrow from friends and family, and we use our personal credit because we don't know that we can do this business credit, and education is so important. I think another thing that I've heard a lot of women is some women have attempted to invest and they've been defrauded, or they've obviously invested in something that turned out to be kind of a mess. Is there a way that you can, or some tips you can give women on how do they vet something so it is a good investment or it's a safe investment?
Yeah, I always say ask questions and do your research. And granted, it does happen. Even in real estate investing, even if I'm the one picking the deal, there's something might change in the market. There is a level of risk involved with investing of any kind. And it's like I tell people in my real estate investing courses, they're like, how do you keep from having terrible tenants? Well, I do so much work on the beginning of the process. They don't even get to the application stage if they don't meet all these qualifications. So if you're aware of what to look for, and that's what I want to teach in these courses, because they can make it look really sexy and they can promise you a lot of big returns that seem too good to be true. And let's be honest, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. Yeah. So you want to look for stability. You want to look for a great track record. You want to talk to other investors who are in that network, that have worked with that company before. It's, don't always take the salesperson or the representative's word for it. Do your research. We live in an age where you can find out anything you want, good or bad, and it's going to be out there. And I know, the negatives always get blasted out more than the positives. So if you're seeing red flags through your research, that is a key. And I do think, things can look really shiny. We get that shiny object syndrome. And just to have the patience and the wherewithal to really take it through all of your qualification steps ahead of time.
Yeah, that's great advice. Well, I know also that obviously building a business is a huge effort as well. And so I wanted to talk about maybe some of the barriers you might have faced when building this out and how you got past those barriers.
Yeah, like I said, I was lucky I had mentors, so I had seen them do it and I had learned from them. And I always had them to go to when I was starting. Not everybody has that luxury. I understand that. But I had to learn even the basics of how do I set up an LLC? Now I have an LLC. How do I file my taxes? I've always done my own taxes on TurboTax. Like, now what does this look like? So even the tiny little things, most people don't know how to do that. And then the biggest thing I have with business owners right now is, like you talked about in the beginning, helping them leverage technology to operate like a big corporation. You don't have to hire an entire team. There is technology available to help you do that for, a relatively low cost compared to hiring a whole team of people. And so I, automate the grind, focus on the growth. Like, there are 80% of the tasks that you do every day that you could automate that would free up your time to build your business. So, again, it goes back to that education piece, having even a group that you're a part of. And it's a ton of great women's groups like She Talks. There's business building groups all over that, can really help you, can give you advice. You can talk to people and build on your knowledge to take away that intimidation. But I am a big proponent of technology. If you love your widget, you got into business to make this widget, you just want everybody to love this widget as much as you do. Your job is not to figure out, the back office CRM and sales and marketing campaigns on social media. It's just not. And if that's how you're spending your time, then you're not going to be generating the revenue and living the life that you want with that business. So it's just about using the tools that are available.
Looking to grow your business beyond 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures plus? What I want you to do is go download this book. The title is called Be Good, Be Brief, Be Gone. It will help you grow your business past 5, 6, and 7 figure. Go download the book today, growfast.cash. I say again, growfast.cash, and download the book for absolutely free.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like technology evolves so fast. And as soon as I learn something, I'm being introduced to like a new app or a new thing. Oh, yeah. And I mean, we're ourselves talking about, okay, how do we leverage AI to help She Talks out? How do we, basically help automate those things to make it a more efficient platform for all of our women? And so that's the ever, like changing thing that we're doing. And like, what do we do? And how does we best do it? And also, how do we make sure we don't like technology fail on when we're attempting to do it, but I like, what did you say? You said automate the grind. And what was the other part of that?
Focus on the growth.
Okay. Well, you now need to do a webinar on that. Like that needs, I'm at that webinar.
It's a good time.
But, one thing I love about women is I feel women are problem solvers and we're really good at logistical things, not putting down our male counterparts at all. I just see this as a strength in a lot of women, is that we're really good at problem solving and animating and putting these things together. And so I think that's an important aspect as well, right? We have a tendency as entrepreneurs to be in the weeds. We built the business. It's our baby. Before you know it, we're down in the weeds because we're used to being in the weeds, and we can do better if we get ourselves out of the weeds, right? Mm-hmm. And I love that. And I'm totally guilty of that. I mean, it's just a habit, right? Being in business for so long, I have the knowledge. I need to knowledge transfer to my interns and my people, but sometimes like, oh, well, I could just do that really fast.
Yes.
And in the end, it sucks up my time when I could be spending on something else.
Yeah.
So,
Delegating is difficult for me because I do like, let me just do it. It'll take me
right.
20 minutes. It'll take you 2 hours, and it'll take me 2 hours to explain it to you. But we have to think about scaling. You know, when
Yep.
you own a business, you hopefully got into it so that you could work yourself out of it, right? That's
Exactly.
the goal. So if you're doing it all, you can't do that. So scaling comes in when you can take a process and have it work without you doing it, whether that's technology, whether that's a teammate, like however you can do something once so that it can happen 1,000 times without you. That's the power of scaling your business.
It is. And, I've really transferred in my thought process to whenever I talk to any of my clients, a lot of the question is, what's your exit strategy? And why is that? Even if you're like brand new, 1-2 years, right? Because it changes the trajectory of how you do business. When I started my businesses, right, it's shocking to say like, oh, I have a business that's 23 years old, but I was maybe 23 when I started it. And I had never been an entrepreneur. And it was like, oh, you just start a business and you work it forever because guess what everyone else did in my parents' world? They got a job and worked it forever. Yeah. And so, longevity of the business was my thought process, but it's very much shifted over the last like probably 7 or 8 years to like, really, what do I want to do for the rest of my life? Because I've got all these businesses, and as much as I love them, I don't know if I want this business to do this business for another 20 years. And so we really shifted to that mentality of like, what's your exit plan? What are you thinking? Because let's move you in that direction. And shockingly today, you can get yourself exited in 3 to 6 years. I mean, there is absolutely the ability to do it if moving in the right direction. And it's such a great point you made about, work yourself out of it, find the balance. I mean, we do a lot of this, we talked about the Beach Bum Millionaire Mastermind. And the whole idea is like enjoying life, being a beach bum, right? And at the same time, working your business in a way that you're not killing yourself 80 hours a week. So I just think that's such an amazing philosophy. And, it's kind of part of the investing, right? Like you're investing your money to let it work for you without having to do a massive amount of work. You're letting those brilliant people behind the scenes do it. And I mean, I tell you, I have many friends who, have gotten into the real estate side, the flipping house side that are multi-millionaires because they realized how to make their money. And they started with a very small amount, small amount, house flip they did, and then another. And before you know it, full company. Right. So I love what you're doing. And I love that you really empowered yourself in your journey. Like you had to make the decision to, go after that. Because I always say no one's going to come to save you. And no one's going to come to pull you out. And we have to figure that out on ourselves. I hate saying that because I'd love to say someone's going to come and help you. But, that's not always the case in this process. Well, so, we're talking about, obviously you have, these amazing programs going on. You're investing, you're doing real estate, you're teaching everyone how to be an investor. But of course, in particular, women, because I agree with you. I think women culturally aren't encouraged to educate themselves or even get involved in that. And I know many a women who have plenty of money to invest, but they're fearful to do it. So I think Show Her the Money was like a really good, like kind of like pushing everyone out there. And now obviously it's us, which I think you said you guys are looking to start your own fund, right?
Absolutely. We're going to start a real estate fund as well. Because it is that like, real estate investing is so much more than flipping houses. There's way more to it. So you can learn what to do. And then, I say there's no such thing as passive income, but there is way less active income, and real estate investing is one of those. When I got into it, I've done, I think my first 3 deals were no money out of my pocket because I knew the right programs. I knew the right lenders. I knew the right structure of the deal. So if we can multiply that and create a fund that you have fractional ownership of property that's cash flowing every month, that's giving you money that you don't have to manage. I manage plenty. I fixed a toilet a couple of weeks ago. That's just, that's what I do. But if you could do that, and not have to worry about that, and know, like and trust the people that you're working with, understand their investing strategy, their values, their exit strategy, make sure that it aligns with yours. it's just a way to, like you said, make your money work for you without you having to do anything.
Yeah, I love that. So I know you went through a big transition from different industries, and I'd love to touch on that for a moment because we have a lot of women in our She Talks and in everyday life. I run into that they're changing industries. They are moving to something different, but there's just some big transition that's happening in their life, and they're trying to like, how do I, what's the next step? What do I do in this big transition? I know you had some big transitions. Is there any advice you could offer to women who are kind of in that moment?
I went from a job, so the employee to entrepreneur mindset is a huge shift. And I think I struggled for a long time with, like you said, I'm a taskmaster. I'll just do all the tasks, but I didn't have the big picture plan on, let me create this business. Let me grow it at these metrics so that I can this when I'm done. I was like, well, I'm just going to do it because I know how to do it. So I would say, you made the point earlier, know your exit strategy. That is the North Star for whatever you're going to get into. So if you wanted to get into coaching, online coaching for whatever, health and wellness, finance, if you wanted to start a brick and mortar business, if you wanted to, get into switch from education to, going into the corporate world, there's a ton of opportunity. And I think the biggest thing I can say is, somebody told me this one time, the people that got stuck in the concrete of the Hoover Dam, they're stuck. The people that died and got, in the Hoover Dam, they're stuck. You're not stuck. So if you feel like there is a transition that needs to happen in your life, just go make it happen. And I can't support community enough. So find your community, of women who are doing what you want to do, and learn as much as you can from them. And that is the best thing you can do. Learn, be in community, and grow together with other people.
Yeah, that is great advice. I agree. I think in probably some of the toughest transitions in my life, community and support was really huge. Just someone there backing you, saying you can do it, you've got this, helping you kind of filter through your ideas. That was so important to me. Is I need someone to just like throw all my ideas at and be like, give me the honest truth. Is it stupid? Is it too big? Is it, like find fault in it so I can figure out how to fix it. And I think that's huge. And as you mentioned, I mean, at She Talks here, probably what I feel is unique about our community is that we really want to champion each other. And I see that daily with women who are like, oh, I'll help that person out, or let me do this for them. And a lot of times it's not even anything they want. They're just like, I've been there, done that. Let me just give you a little support because I didn't have it. And I think that's so important as women are making huge leaps and transitions. We know COVID was a really big issue for a lot of people, got let go from their companies. They had to make major, I feel the key word for COVID was pivot. We all had to pivot in a big way to make those transitions. So I love that. Well, as we're coming to the end of our podcast, one, I wanted to highlight any new things you have going on. Obviously, you're going to be a speaker at our Lead Empower She Talks in Denver in April 5th. So we're super excited about that. And you can go to the Lead Empower Her .com website, and then you can go on there to get your tickets, which I encourage you to do that. We actually really anticipate that this event is going to be absolutely sold out. And Josh here is going to pop up where you can actually see the screen and scroll. I think you're at the top, Amanda. Let's scroll on down and we can see all the teachers or the speakers. Oh, you're there. You go. So we have an amazing group of women at this event, and I'm super excited for it. And each woman, in fact, there was a lot of them on our new members meeting this morning, just filling us in on what they're doing. And I'm like just taken aback by all of that. So if you want to grab some tickets, you can go on there and get those for April. April sounds far out. It's not, guys. It is like coming up so soon. So make sure you jump on that. What else do you have going on that you want people to check out?
Yeah, you called it exit strategy. I think a lot of people get into business and they, like I said, they want to do the thing. They don't want to think about all the other stuff. So we have within our business development company a race to revenue coaching program where, I know you're in business and I know you're doing well, but how are you going to take it to that next level? How are you really going to scale? And exit strategy is the first thing that we talk about, because you can plan your vision and work backwards. Now let's find the steps to get you there. Let's find out how to structure all of your finances. Let's make sure you're measuring the right things. What are your KPIs? What are your metrics? How do you know if you're successful and profitable? Do you know your numbers? What is your borrowing power? All of those things. So that is the race to revenue, where we really coach people on the money side of things and work, kind of operate as like a fractional CFO. You know, nobody wants to do the bookkeeping, the tax strategy, the numbers. So we work with companies within that race to revenue to do that. And I've also got, talking about real estate investing, and expand your empire coaching programs. So if you've, like, my first rental property was only because I bought another house and I was like, well, I could just keep this one as a rental. And then, you know, at that point, not being a real estate investor, I was like, well, I'm out of money. You know, this makes money, but how do I go from, you know, one or two to building an entire portfolio? So that's the thing that we do with Expand Your Empire, is teaching some of those finance strategies so that you can leverage other people's money, the right loan programs and everything. You know, even without having a W-2, you can buy multiple properties, whether it be within a fund or doing it on your own. So I just want to empower as many people as possible to find their dream, whatever it is, scale their businesses, build their wealth in whatever way that aligns with them. You know, I've got no product to sell. I'm not going to sell you that real estate investing is the only way. There are so many ways to grow your wealth and build things for your family. And I just want to expose as many entrepreneurs as I can to all the tools and strategies available to help them really be successful.
Yeah. And what's the best website if they want to sign up for those programs to go to?
Yep. Metropolisbusinessdevelopment.com. I know that's a lot. Metropolis Business Development, all spelled out, .com. And that has everything in our entrepreneur toolkit, all of the programs that we have, and even we have loan programs for entrepreneurs. You know, you can't just go into a bank and get a loan to buy your own house, owner occupied, let alone a rental property. So we have those tools too, to just, like I said, give you the life that you want and the things that you need. So yeah, Metropolis Business Development in the toolkit, and we'll have all of our courses there available. So we're going to be part of a business battleground TV show on E360 TV, where we're coaching businesses on their finance. So basically putting them through the race to revenue. So that's going to be really exciting. So we got a lot of fun stuff going on.
That is excellent. And if you're driving or listening or taking a run, you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't catch that website. Don't worry. We will put all the links in here, links for you to get tickets so you can see Amanda at She Talks, links for her business and those programs as well. And of course, you can always message myself or Amanda on LinkedIn, and we'll get back to you too. I try and give lots of ways for people to find us if they're not doing it. So last question for you is, if you could go back to your younger self and give your younger self advice, what would it be?
Moisturize the neck. Don't just worry about the face. Do the neck. If I could go back, I have a friend group that's quite a bit younger than me, and I tell them all the time, I'm like, ladies, right here, make sure you do it right here. So.
I love that. I love it.
Moisturize the neck.
So perfect. Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. And as I always say, live, love, laugh, and always be your authentic self.
Hey, we all want to scale our business. Hey, I have the answer for you today to help you do that. If you're looking to scale from 5, 6, even 7 figures and beyond, book called Be Good, Be Brief, Be Gone. I'm going to give it to you for free. All you have to do is type in growfast.cash. I say again, growfast.cash, and you can download the book for absolutely free. I hope the book helps you this year. Take your business to the next level. Again, go grab the book, growfast.cash. I say again, growfast.cash. I wish you the best, and grow, scale, and win.
Thanks for listening to Lead and Empower Her with your host, Dr. Julie Ducharme. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we'll see you on the next episode.
There it is. Magnum. baby! That's what I've been waiting for!
Dear God.